Alright, so we've finished history and now we'll look at the settings. So I'm going to jump into Lyrebird and click on the settings, and I can see here the profile, so I can see my personal information. I can change my field of practice if I accidentally selected the wrong one. If I want to click on preferences, then I can see all of the preferences that Lyrebird has. I would suggest coming through and having a look at these because there are a couple of really cool features that aren't turned on by default. So we talked about the default period of deletion, so I can change this. I can add a warning for when they're deleted. Billing code recommendations may or may not be visible on your screen depending on your location. The date format is something that you can toggle if you want to do month or day. Save dictation audio. So saving dictation audio is a really common one for surgeons or specialists who have a secretary who is going to be dictating or like confirming their dictation is correct by listening to the audio file. So what we can see is when we did that dictation in the other video, we did this dictation here. I can actually listen back to the audio file so I can confirm if this information is correct.
I need you to write me a letter to the referring clinician.
So that's what save audio is for. I can jump back into the preferences now. There is an option for dictation shortcuts. This is really useful if your secretary needs to switch through that save dictation. Use stream dictation. Essentially, instead of doing the full dictation and then seeing the output on the screen, you'll see the dictation output in real time. So I'll turn this on and I'll really quickly give you a demonstration of this. Dear Dr. Smith, thank you for referring David. He's a 15-year-old male who presented with type 1 diabetes symptoms. So it's going to do it in real time, and then it's also going to regenerate it and make sure it's right. Now, if I go back into my settings, I can display the consult transcript. This one is turned on by default, and it means you can see the whole consult transcript. Delete associated documents with consults. In the last video, I explained the history and how that works. So we have a consult, and all the documents that you've created in that consult have a separate spot in the history page. Now, if you delete a consult, those documents don't delete. But if you turn this on, they will delete simultaneously. So that is a good one if you wanted to just clean up your history page. Autosave, that's a good one, but you can turn it off if you don't want nothing saved to Lyrebird. Show upcoming patients list. So if I turn this on, and I'll also show the show notepad pre-consult. I'll turn these two on, and that's a really actually interesting tip. I'll show you that in a second. Document statuses. So essentially in the history page, if you've got consults, you've also got documents. You can tag these documents with a status. So you can tag it with not reviewed, reviewed, and then transferred. It's really useful if you've got a secretary working with you and they're transferring letters out of your account and they need to see when they are reviewed or not. The auto accept consent pop-up is going to remove that pop-up, and that's really only suggested if you've incorporated a written consent form or an opt-out consent process. The Lyrebird beta program, you can opt into that and we'll reach out to you when new features need to be tested, and then new features pop up, just shows you what's new. If I jump into the consult page, I'll just show you these notepad and upcoming patient list. So show upcoming patient list when empty essentially says if these are empty, if there's no one in here, then still show this upcoming patient list. This means I can just click on here, add a patient really easily. Now, the notepad shows this button where you can open and close the notepad before the consult has started. So if you've got a full list of patients here, let's add another one. If you've got these two patients here, David, I could go in here, enter some history about David. And then I can do the same for Jane. And then that means when I click on the patient, I can see a little bit about their history, I can start the consult, and then I can jump straight into the next patient and that history is there. And that's a really good little tip. So that's all the settings in Lyrebird. That's the preferences tab. At the bottom here, there was one more just about the send patient letters. So when you write a patient letter in Lyrebird, there is an option to share it directly to the patient via an encrypted email. This just allows you to change the reply to email and also the disclaimer at the bottom or in that email footer. So you can change that to be whatever you'd like. In the security tab, we can enable multi-factor authentication. This essentially adds an extra step. When you're logging into Lyrebird, you'll need to confirm that you're logging in on your phone. Change password, and then we have subscription page where you can go in, add a payment method, and that will upgrade you automatically to Pro once your trial is finished. Integrations page essentially says, asks you to select your integration. Let's select EMIS. And if we do have an integration with it, it will show you how to integrate with it. And if we don't, it'll add you to the list of people who are interested. So when we do integrate with them, we'll reach out to you. That is all the settings in Lyrebird.